Okay, part 3. Let's finish up this last example. Very short video, this one. Okay, so cotan of theta equals negative, I believe that's a negative, it kind of ran together there, negative 5/4. Okay, so let's see here. Now, if this was unit circle and we did recognize it as unit circle, which we don't, it's not, we don't have a 5/4 on the unit circle, we would be able to just go ahead with this, but we're going to the calculator, and the only buttons our calculator has as far as trig goes are sine, cosine, tan. So once again, we need to reciprocal this and write it as tan theta equals, and we flip the right hand side, which would be negative 4/5. The negative is there. I know it's hard to see, but that is a negative. Okay, so negative 4/5. Now to get at the theta, we have to get rid of the tan. So we are going to, oh, that's a lovely color combination, isn't it? Inverse tan, very Christmassy, of both sides. Okay, so now we would be getting rid of our tan. 1 second. Okay, now we just have theta equals the inverse tan of negative 4/5. Okay, off to the calculator to get what theta would be. Make sure you're in, check your domain. Make sure you're in radian mode. Okay, and you're going to be doing the inverse tan of negative 4/5. Okay, and I'm going to do that as well. Okay, so this is where it gets a little tricky. You notice we have an angle of negative 0.67 approximately. One way to do this is we could just do the inverse tan of the positive of 4/5, okay? Which means on here we would just go second tan of positive 4/5. And of course that will be in quadrant 1 of an angle of 0.67. Remember our estimating, thinking in radians? Okay, so 0.67 relative to 3.14, that would put us in the first quadrant. And then figure out which quadrants we would actually be in. So we could do that. Let's change this. We will do the inverse tan of the absolute value, basically, of that angle, so the positive. Okay, so the inverse tan of positive 4/5. Okay, so that would put us, as I mentioned here, which was an angle of 0.67. Okay, but we want where tan is negative. So where is tan negative? Well, that's where the combination of x and y have opposite signs. X and y opposite signs. So we would have to be in quadrants 2 and 4. So you draw the same triangle with the same reference angle, 0.67 and 0.67, in the proper quadrants. Okay, so now we'll get rid of this one. Okay, and we want the rotation angle to those. Oh, check your domain, 0 to pi, which means because it's 0 to pi, we wouldn't need to find this one. If we were to, we'd go all the way around to 2 pi and then subtract 0.67. But it looks like we don't need this based on what our domain is, because we're only going from 0 to pi. So to get this angle, we would go all the way to pi, and then we would subtract our reference angle of 0.67. And that would give us an angle of theta would now equal 2.47. Okay, we don't write degrees, and when you don't write degrees, it's assumed to be in radians. So there we go. That would be our answer for this question. Okay, so hopefully we're all good. We can do the assignment, lesson 4 in your workbook. Just follow your unit outline, and everything which will be okay in class. All right, good job, you guys. We'll see you soon.